Good morning and welcome to today's devotion for Monday, November 25th, 2019. And before we begin the devotion, I want to just go over a couple things with you. You might notice, one, the video is a lot clearer. I'm using a new camera and the audio is probably better as well because this camera has a better microphone. The other thing I want to discuss is this is the first day of we'll call it the new quarter. Every quarter we are issued out the new devotion books, and this is the book that we read out of. It's issued by the American Baptist Association and Bogard Press. And this daily devotional book for this quarter is going to be highlighting more of in a prophetic manner. We're going to be reading devotions that prophesy about future events. We're also going to highlight events that were prophesied in the Old Testament and then that we read in the New Testament came to fruition. So there's two types of prophecies: those that were predicted and came true, and those that were predicted and have yet to come true. And we're going to highlight the differences between those. Also, the other thing I wanted to point out is these devotions are going to be a little bit longer as far as the biblical text. There's more verses to read. There's more context we must understand before we get into the story of the devotion. And one last thing I want to mention is too, at the beginning of the year in 2020, I'm going to start up a new series, a new Bible series. I haven't yet decided what to title it, if it's Bible 101 or Christianity 101, but I want to break the aspects of Christianity down to its core. I want to discuss the Bible in general. I want to discuss what is the Bible, who wrote it, when was it written, why was it written, and how it can apply to our lives in a more meaningful manner. So I'm hoping that by discussing the Bible in a more simplistic sense, that then you'll better understand the devotions. You'll understand the meaning behind the devotions. And then also in my parallel channel on Donald Blomdahl's feed, where he's doing his Through the Bible reading, as he reads those scriptures, you'll better understand the context and the background to those chapters and books that he's reading from in the Bible. So I hope that just kind of paints a broader picture for you to understand the makings of Christianity. So with that, again, this quarter is more or less about prophecy. We're going to be reading in the book of Ezekiel primarily. And in this devotion, we're going to be reading out of Ezekiel chapter 34, verses 1 through 10. So Ezekiel 34, 1 through 10. And here, Ezekiel is giving some prophecy as given to him from God. And it reads, "And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy against the shepherds of Israel. Prophesy and say unto them, Thus saith the Lord God unto the shepherds, Woe be to the shepherds of Israel that do feed themselves. Should not the shepherds feed the flocks? Ye eat the fat, and ye clothe you with the wool. Ye kill them that are fed, but ye feed not the flock. The diseased have ye not strengthened, neither have ye healed that which was sick. Neither have you bound up that which was broken. Neither have ye brought again that which was driven away. Neither have ye sought that which was lost. But with force and with cruelty have ye ruled them. And they were scattered, because there is no shepherd. And they became meat to all the beasts of the field, when they were scattered. My sheep wandered through all the mountains, and upon every high hill. Yea, my flock was scattered upon all the face of the earth, and none did search or seek after them. Therefore, ye shepherds, hear the word of the Lord. As I live, saith the Lord God, surely because my flock became a prey, and my flock became meat to every beast of the field, because there was no shepherd. Neither did my shepherds search for my flock, but the shepherds fed themselves, and fed not my flock. Therefore, O ye shepherds, hear the word of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord God, Behold, I am against the shepherds, and I will require my flock at their hand, and cause them to cease from feeding the flock. Neither shall the shepherds feed themselves any more. For I will deliver my flock from their mouth, that they may not be meat for them." And our devotional reading says, "If we look around at all those leading us, we can easily become alarmed. This is certainly true of our political leaders, but it is even true of our religious leaders. False teachers, men and women looking to make a dollar, and priests and prophets of false religions are everywhere. They write books and have TV shows. Some even have their own TV networks. Those who are part of the true New Testament churches of Jesus Christ should be alarmed. Nothing has changed. In the pre-exile days in Israel, the same kind of leaders existed and were steering the people in some wrong directions. Rather than feeding the flocks they were given to care for, they were fleecing their sheep for their own selfish gain. Because the shepherds do not care for the sheep suffer. They are not fed, and they become easy prey for wild animals, who could pluck them away one by one. Today, false shepherds are not feeding church flocks, and many are being snatched away. And what are we to do? God tells us in verse 10, "Thus saith the Lord God, Behold, I am against the shepherds, and will require my flock at their hand." The answer to the question is this: we do what God calls each of us to do. He is watching, and He is working this to the end that best secures His will. He did not turn His back then, and He will not turn His back on us now. Just a thought. We should concern ourselves with God's calling in our lives and let Him take care of everybody else. You know, even though we live in a different day and time, human beings have not changed all that much or at all since biblical times. The same mistakes that they were making in Ezekiel's time, we're making in today's time. He was accusing priests and ministers of not feeding the flock. He was accusing the shepherds of not caring for the sheep. They were keeping it all for themselves. And you look around today, there's plenty of TV ministers. There's plenty of guys out there running mega churches. And I'm not trying to put down the mega churches, but you need to be careful. If you look at the heart of the leader of that flock, if you look at the shepherd of that church, and is he keeping those gains for himself, or is he using it to feed his sheep? And there's way too much of that going on today in today's society. And the same thing was happening in Ezekiel's time. So he was warning us, as given the prophecy from God, what was to come. And lo and behold, God's prophecy to Ezekiel is coming true in today's times. So I want to thank you for spending some time with me this morning during the devotion. I look forward to sharing with you more devotions in the future. I hope this is a blessing to you and that you can take this knowledge with you into your day and share it with others and have it apply to your life. I thank you so much for listening. Have a great day and God bless. Bye-bye.